Alright, so we have our fluid layout. It's not too pretty because we haven't done our base styling. But what I mean by base is the top level styling. So anything that's not in a media query, which we'll be doing in the next section. So let's get to the CSS file and let's style some things under the body. Let's do the links. So the links, we want to take away the underline. So we want to say text decoration none, and let's change the color to that reddish brownish color of the logo, which is 781A26. Alright, so we also want to style for the hovered links. So A hover, and we're just going to change the color to a dark gray. Alright, so next we have the H2 tags, which are going to have the same color as the links. Take that out, change this to H2, and then I'm going to do that. If you remember, I had a div with the class of CLR, and all that's going to do is clear whatever elements are floated before it. So we'll say clear both. Alright, so we have our container styled, we have our logo, now we need our navigation styled. So under the, I like to do it in order as they come in the HTML file, so that's going to go right under the logo. That's also in the main header, so we'll say main header dot main nav. Alright, so for the navigation bar itself, we're going to give it a background of 882433. Oh, we need our pound sign. And the height will be 40 pixels. And the border radius is going to be 5 pixels. And then we'll have a border of 1 pixel, and it's going to be colored C13046, which is just a lighter color than the navigation bar itself. It's going to be solid. Alright, so let's copy this here, and this is going to be for the unordered list itself. We want to set it to have a list style of none, and we're going to zero out the margin and the padding. Okay. So now I want to do the li tags. So those are going to be white, and they're going to display. I'm sorry, display inline. And we're going to float them to the left and set a margin on the right of 3 pixels. Now we want to do the links inside the list, so we're going to say LIA. So the links are going to be white. Oh, should put 6 there. Let's see. We want to display these as an inline block. And we're going to add our padding, which is going to be 10 pixels top and bottom, 20 pixels left and right. And we're going to set a height of 20 pixels. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to style the hovered links and the active link. So we'll say LIA hover and LIA dot active. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do with that is add a background color, and it's going to be that tannish color which is going to be EFEADD, and we'll make the color a dark gray. And finally, we want a border radius of 5 pixels. Okay, so that's it for the navigation. Let's save this and see what's going on. Alright, looks great. Got the hover state, the active state, so it looks good. Next, we want to deal with the content. We've already created the fluid layout for the content. Now let's style the articles themselves. So we'll say content article. And the article will have a border radius of 5 pixels, a background of white. We'll say overflow, auto, and we want the padding to be 10 pixels on the top, 20 pixels on the bottom, and we just want a 10 pixel margin on the top. Now you can use, I'm using fixed pixels for the padding and margin, but you can use percentages, but where you need to use percentages is for the actual width of the elements, the containers and stuff like that. Alright, so let's see. Let's do the span. So I'll copy this. The span is the author info. So we're just going to change that font style to italic. And just change the color to black. Alright. Next is the read more button or link, and that is in the content a dot read more. Alright, so this is going to be displayed as a block, and it's going to float to the right. Color is white. Padding is going to be 5 pixels top and bottom, 9 pixels left and right, and then we're going to give it a background of C13046. Okay, and finally a radius of 5 pixels. And we want the hover state, so I'm going to copy that. Let's say hover. And that's going to change the background to black. Okay, so now we'll move on to the sidebar. We already have the width in place. Now we get to style the individual blocks. So we're going to say sidebar dot block. Basically going to have a lot of the same properties as the article, so I'm just going to copy these. Alright, so let me just check. Background's white. Margin, we're going to say 10 pixels top, 0, 0, 10 pixels. Okay. And what else? Padding, how's that look? Padding, we just want to change the left and right to 15 pixels. And the rest looks good. Alright, so now is the footer, and the footer will have a background of 882433. I'm going to make the height 40 pixels like the nav bar, Give it the same kind of border. Oh. And let's see, what's the number? C1 3046. And we're going to give the footer a margin on the top of 10 pixels. And actually, let's give it a radius as well. Okay, so we're just about there. Now we need to do just the footer paragraph. We just want to deal with that text. So the color is going to be white. Margin 0. Padding is just going to be 10 pixels on top. And we're going to center it. Alright, so that's the base CSS styling. Let's see what we got. Looks good. Oh, something's wrong with the background. Oh, we didn't add the hash symbol. Alright, so it looks really good. Now let's see if we resize it. The layout is definitely fluid. And you can see obviously the image we want to fix. And we're going to do all this with media queries. We're going to get rid of this sidebar, put it underneath. We're going to take some padding off the margins off the side, and we're going to make a vertical menu. So that's what we're going to do next. But as for base styling, we're pretty much done. So we'll get into media queries next.